went on TV and called it domestic terrorism. What is she, hiding her face like her ICE agents now? She can't show her face either? By the way, is this what the $800 billion went to? Every day we see her after there's some new tragedy in Homeland, she's wearing a different outfit with a different hat. I mean, come on, guys, she looks ridiculous. She's not just an embarrassment to the country. She's an embarrassment to you and the president. Okay, she deserves to be removed from her job by the president, and if not impeached, not just for her complete failures in Homeland, but her destruction of FEMA. She's not even running the department. You guys know this. You guys know she's not running Homeland. Your governors and you all, when you need your FEMA money, you don't call Noem, you call Corey.
The temperature inside the House committee room rose sharply when Florida Congressman Jared Moskowitz delivered a blistering critique of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and what he described as a broader failure of accountability within the Trump administration. What began as a debate over political rhetoric quickly turned into a pointed confrontation over transparency, leadership, and the role of Congress itself. If you want clear, no-nonsense explanations of moments like this that cut through the noise, make sure you subscribe and stay with us.
Recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to go back to a previous statement by one of our colleagues, Governor Biggs. He said that Democrats have not tried to de-escalate the situation. You know, after the brutal murder of Charlie Kirk, which was domestic terrorism, okay, we tried to de-escalate. After the assassination attempt against the president, which was domestic terrorism, I was appointed to the task force to investigate that assassination attempt. We tried to de-escalate. After the anti-Semitic attack in Colorado, in which you put forward a resolution that included language about ICE's favorable role in that. 75 Democrats voted for that resolution, even though there was no reason to put that in there, but you did it to try to put us on the board. So this idea that that Democrats have said nothing, that we haven't tried to de-escalate, it's just not true. It's just not true. Now, it's not like you guys have any credibility on de-escalation. I mean, literally, we're not the ones who told tens of thousands of people to show up to the Capitol and run in here like a mob. And now you all tell people it never happened. You know, like, oh, that's not what the deal was. It's not like every day there isn't some sort of tweet that just escalates and escalates and escalates. And so, listen, I hope one day we could have a hearing on de-escalation. I would love to participate in a hearing on how we together de-escalate. But looking at one party and saying, you don't de-escalate, I mean, that's literally this dialogue on how we do bring down the temperature together. You know, I want to, we heard about this domestic terrorism thing, right? Domestic terrorism. That was the first thing we heard. I have a question. This is the person who within minutes of the shooting, went on TV and called it domestic terrorism. What is she, hiding her face like her ICE agents now? She can't show her face either? By the way, is this what the $800 billion went to? Every day we see her after there's some new tragedy in Homeland, she's wearing a different outfit with a different hat. I mean, come on, guys, she looks ridiculous. She's not just an embarrassment to the country. She's an embarrassment to you and the president. Okay, she deserves to be removed from her job by the president, and if not impeached, not just for her complete failures in Homeland, but her destruction of FEMA. She's not even running the department. You guys know this. You guys know she's not running Homeland. Your governors and you all, when you need your FEMA money, you don't call Noem, you call Corey. You know she's not running the place. She's a complete and utter embarrassment. By the way, every Homeland Secretary has come in front of this committee once a Congress. I'd like to know the date she's coming. When is she coming?
When is she coming? When is she coming?
When is she coming? By the way, do you know Pam Bondi has not come in front of this committee? Do you know she's the only secretary to not appear in front of a committee yet? When is she coming? What's the date on the calendar that she's coming? You know what? Let's make it easy. I want to make a motion to subpoena Pam Bondi
Second.
to this committee.
Third, fourth, fifth.
How much are we going to...
The gentleman is not recognized for that motion. However, the chair will advise as to the Attorney General coming for, as they do routinely.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. But where is the Attorney General, the only secretary to not appear, okay, in front of a committee? The only one. We're into year 2 of this Congress, and we've not had the Attorney General in front of this committee. How much are we going to weaken Article 1 of the Constitution while you guys remain in power? I watch you twist yourself into pretzels trying to defend this, running away from previous statements, disagreeing with yourself, trying to defend the crap that's happening. And so I'll make a motion again to subpoena Pam Bondi in front of this committee.
Second.
Yes, third, fourth, fifth.
The chair will again.
Moskowitz opened by pushing back hard against claims from Republican colleagues that Democrats have failed to de-escalate political tensions following recent acts of violence. He rejected that narrative outright, listing multiple moments where Democrats publicly condemned violence and worked to lower the temperature, including after the murder of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, the assassination attempt against President Trump, and an anti-Semitic attack in Colorado. Moskowitz reminded the committee that Democrats overwhelmingly supported a bipartisan resolution condemning anti-Semitism and violence, even when it included language they disagreed with, precisely because de-escalation mattered more than political point scoring. His message was blunt. The claim that Democrats have stayed silent or inflamed tensions is simply false. If context matters to you in moments like this, hit subscribe because these details rarely make the headlines. From there, Moskowitz turned his fire toward Republican credibility on de-escalation, referencing January 6th and what he described as years of inflammatory rhetoric that continues to escalate political divisions. He argued that de-escalation cannot be demanded from one side while excused on the other, especially when leadership figures continue to amplify outrage and deny past events. But the most explosive portion of Moskowitz's remarks focused on Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and her response to a deadly ICE-related incident. Moskowitz questioned how quickly Noem labeled the killing as domestic terrorism, pointing out that she went on television within minutes of the shooting, long before a full investigation could reasonably take place. He mocked what he described as Noem's carefully staged public appearances, criticizing her frequent costume changes and highly produced visuals after national tragedies. Moskowitz argued that this behavior trivializes serious issues and undermines public trust in the Department of Homeland Security. He said plainly that she looks unprepared, unserious, and disconnected from the responsibilities of her office. Moskowitz did not stop there. He accused Noem of effectively not running the department at all, claiming that when governors need FEMA assistance, they bypass her entirely and contact senior staff instead. In his view, this is evidence of a secretary who has lost credibility both inside and outside her own agency. If you care about whether government officials actually show up and answer questions, subscribe now because this issue goes far beyond one hearing. Moskowitz then shifted to a constitutional argument, focusing on Congress's oversight role under Article 1. He noted that every prior Homeland Security Secretary appeared before the committee at least once per Congress, yet Noem had not. He repeatedly demanded to know when she would testify, receiving no clear answer. That frustration escalated into a broader charge of stonewalling across the administration. Moskowitz pointed out that Attorney General Pam Bondi had also failed to appear before the committee, making her the only cabinet-level official who had not testified. He attempted to force the issue by calling for a subpoena, arguing that continued refusal to testify weakens Congress's constitutional authority. The chair ruled his motion out of order, but Moskowitz pressed on, warning that allowing executive officials to dodge oversight hearings sets a dangerous precedent. He accused Republicans of twisting themselves into contradictions to defend what he described as obvious failures in leadership, governance, and accountability. Moskowitz closed with a stark warning, asking how much power Congress is willing to surrender while remaining silent. In his view, the issue is no longer partisan, it is institutional. If lawmakers fail to assert their oversight authority now, they may permanently weaken the legislative branch's role as a check on executive power. If you care about whether government officials actually show up and answer questions, subscribe now, because this issue goes far beyond one hearing.